Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stephen Breach coming to you here, talking all about the things that went down on Monday Night Raw. I haven't made that many videos since then because I've been using so much of my time fixing my MacBook problem that I had. I just went out and bought a new one. Hopefully you will check out not one, but two Apple Store unboxings. I did a MacBook unboxing, which I ended up having to take back, and then I ended up doing a MacBook Pro unboxing is what is holding up my phone right now as I make this video. But on Monday Night Raw, we had a lot of surprises. No matter if it was Sting making his return, if it was who else made his return? The Dudley Boys made their return, and then coming up last was Braun Stowman making his debut in WWE as the newest member of the Wyatts. Honestly, I was really thinking that at the pay-per-view, Eric Rowan was going to be making a return and sort of completing the Wyatts. I can't remember, late last year is when it went down, because it was before Survivor Series, because Luke Harper, of course, ended up fighting for the Authority, while Eric Rowan ended up joining Team Cena at Survivor Series. One thing leads to another. Harper and Rowan are just sort of left out there with nothing really to do. Harper ended up I think he had a good run on his own. He did get, left out there, with really nothing really big going on for him, but he did wrestle at WrestleMania 31 in the Intercontinental Ladder match, and, Eric Rowan, he wasn't even on Mania. He might have been in that pre-show Battle Royal, but I'm not even 100% sure if he was out there for that, because it isn't like he hit any big memorable spots or anything like that. But a few months ago, WWE put these guys back together as Rowan and Harper as a tag team. There was no Bray Wyatt, but you could sort of feel that it was coming soon. One thing leads to another. Rowan ends up, I think, injuring his shoulder, and he's out. And then Harper, is left on his own with nothing to do once again. And then he rejoins Bray Wyatt. And, the big rumor for SummerSlam was that we were going to get a big six-man tag where Sting would join the Shield. And, that would be the big blow-off. One thing leads to another. WWE ends up not using Sting. And then the rumor comes out that Sting's going to be part of the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. And they are going to be using Sting. One thing leads to another. It wasn't the main event, but a big match that was named was the SummerSlam rematch, which was Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns going up against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. And I was like, this seems kind of weird, because if you looked at that match last night, the way that it ended, it really felt like this was a blow-off to the Shield versus the Wyatts. Maybe they could sense that, the Roman Reigns was picking up some steam, and then all of a sudden at Money in the Bank, he doesn't win the championship. They put him wrestling against Bray Wyatt again, and a lot like all the people that Bray Wyatt has wrestled, they just run out of steam. There's nothing left in the tank. You look at Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was having his little run against Seth Rollins. People were calling him the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. He goes into the feud against Bray Wyatt, and he just had nothing. You look at WrestleMania 31. People were booing Roman Reigns out of the building. They're building him up. It even had a good match against the Big Show on pay-per-view, which I believe was the last man standing match. And then you get to Money in the Bank, and they want to tease the fact that Roman's going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Bray Wyatt shows up, and almost immediately, everything that was built up around Roman Reigns as becoming the next guy. As you can see that they were building up steam in this guy yet once again. At this point, I don't even know what they're going to do with Roman, because I thought that honestly within a few months he was going to actually become WWE champion, and he was going to beat Seth Rollins, and that was going to be his moment. It wasn't going to be at WrestleMania, but at least they were going to put the belt on him. They were going to get to the point where we all thought they were going to be in the long run. And now I don't know. I mean, is Roman going to win the Royal Rumble? And then go on to WrestleMania 32 and wrestle for the championship? Maybe. I don't know. You always think the guy who has the belt is going to keep it all the way. But do you really think that Seth Rollins is going to keep the WWE championship from WrestleMania to WrestleMania? A 1-year title run? I'm not 100% sure. Somebody's got to beat that guy. And as of right now, I don't think it's Roman Reigns. I don't think it's going to be Sting either. But maybe John Cena will beat him at Hell in the Cell. And take the championship from him then, or something like that. And maybe they'll do another champion versus champion match at Hell in the Cell. And that'll be our big main event. Because as of right now, I don't see Sting going in at the Hell in the Cell. So I mean, unless it's Rusev and Ziggler, I don't know what else is going in there, honestly. But it should be a fun show. I wish I was going to it, but I got the NXT show that day, and it's here, so I don't have to travel for it. But Braun Strowman shows up. He really fits the part. You got to scratch your head wondering, this guy's been in NXT for a while. He's been actually wrestling matches on live shows since December, but he's never made his NXT debut. Why was this guy kept off the television? A lot of people I'm listening to, Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer, people are saying that he's, greener than green. He's a big guy. He's scary. He's the guy Vince loved in the 80s. He would be a great 80s monster to get putting up there against Hulk Hogan. He's in the territory for maybe 6 months tops, and then he's gone. And there's really nothing else for this guy to do. I hear that once this guy gets into matches, that they actually let him in the match, and it's a real deal. It's not going to be good. I think that, honestly, I remember when Bray Wyatt debuted in WWE, people were thinking that, he didn't wrestle as much in FCW. He wrestled matches when he had to, but it was more about his family members. It was more about Wyatt and Rowan, and he was like, he sat back and he was the manager, and people kept waiting for it. People said he'll wrestle Kane at SummerSlam in the fire match, and then he'll just sort of take a back seat. He'll be more of like a Bobby Heenan guy. We've never seen that from him. He's always been the wrestling guy. He's always been the leader of the Wyatts. He's got in there and he's done the dirty work, and he's worked the matches. I think that he's a good wrestler, but he's very boring with his promos, and that's what gets people out of the programs that he's in, is that people don't want to wait for the payoff in order to see the match. Because they just are so bored of this guy grabbing a microphone and just talking. I mean, the promo, when we all thought that somebody was going to be coming down and joining the Wyatts, it happened a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw with Harper and Bray Wyatt, and they actually sort of told the story of Luke Harper about how he joined the Wyatts. He was let go, and he was let back into the wilderness to be on his own, and now he's come back again because he felt that, Bray Wyatt made him whole, and that thing just went on forever, and I kept on waiting for anybody, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, Eric Rowan, somebody come down to the ring, so it just is going to tell me that Sting's coming soon. But Braun Strowman, he's a big dude. I mean, he picked up Roman Reigns, choked him out, made him look like a rag doll. If they can use him in the right way, it's going to be really good. But the thing, I apologize about that. It's my computer restarting because I already had to do an update on it in order to open up iTunes. So I've had the thing for 5 minutes and I've already had to update things on it. It doesn't make sense. But I don't know about Strowman. It's going to be weird because, I mean, is the basis going to be around Strowman and Harper and Wyatt's going to be on the outside, or is it going to be a 6-man tag? Because Sting's already there. Sting's going to be wrestling against Seth Rollins. It's already set in stone. Who's coming and who's going to be joining the Shield? Orton is more than likely going to be wrestling against Sheamus. He's one good guy that can't go in there. And I don't know anybody else. I mean, anybody who's not doing anything right now as a babyface is like Fandango, Jack Swagger. It's going to be a mystery to me to see who's going to be coming in for them to wrestle against the Wyatts, unless Bray's not going to be involved in this match, and it's just going to be about Strowman and Harper. We're going to have to see sooner than later. We have to wait for the whole story to pan out. But Strowman's a guy that, honestly, I think is going to... They're going to find a way to make this guy a force. He's going to be more than what Eric Rowan was, and we'll see what goes on with the Wyatts. I've always been looking for them to add more people to the group. Now that they've got more, it's a stronger army for Bray Wyatt to have, and maybe they can emphasize on him talking less and pushing him towards the forefront of a WWE where most people think he should be.